Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Artisan Pirate here, and in today's fun video we're going to be doing a discussion on a topic, more specifically on why I do not attempt and do more advanced scroll saw woodworking patterns for Monday scroll saw project videos. I kind of touched on this subject in the video where I released previously, where I said ask me some questions to where I'll film a follow-up video. In that original video I quickly gave 10 questions that I felt you guys needed to know the answer to, kind of right out the gate before you started asking me more questions. And one of those was, why do I not do more complex scroll saw patterns for Monday scroll saw project videos? And as I said in that video, again, it is a time crunch. Trying to get a weekly video out for you guys, for a scroll saw project from start to finish, that does take time to film, edit, and process everything. But I do like doing intermediate to advanced scroll saw patterns, and I've got some examples sit here that I'm going to show you in today's video. And what I'm trying to explain in this video is that I would be happy to do more of these advanced style designs from well-known pattern designers if you guys would be okay with not getting a Monday video every single week. Again, it is a time crunch. Now when I get a little bit ahead with the project videos, like if I stick to just filming and get some project videos done to where I can just sit at the computer and edit them, I will occasionally do a video that is more of a complex nature, and I can also go that route as well. But again, with the advanced scroll saw patterns, sometimes it just takes a lot longer to cut those out as opposed to the projects that I like to bring to the Monday videos. The Monday videos with those projects, I try to kind of, in a way, seek out patterns that you guys, if you are just getting into scroll saw woodworking, can get out in your garage or workshops and get done and get the project under your belt in just a single weekend, like on your days off or in your free time. I know if you are just beginning in scroll saw woodworking and you see these beautiful and immaculately detailed beautiful designs cut out on a scroll saw, you can be like, man, there's no way I'd ever have time to cut that out. Again, it is a time-consuming process to sit and cut out an advanced project. But again, scroll sawing is very therapeutic for me, to where I can sit, put on some good music, put on the dust mask, put on the ear protection, and put on some good music and just get lost in the world of sawdust and scroll sawing. I've always said sometimes I do my best thinking when I'm over at the scroll saw, because I've done it so long that I can potentially just zone out while cutting out the beautiful work at the scroll saw itself. So I just wanted to open this video up today for a discussion, and I wanted again to show you guys some examples of previous intermediate to advanced patterns that I have done. And again, I could bring those videos to the platform. It just might be a case where you might not get a Monday video every single Monday for scroll saw woodworking, if that makes any sense, because of the time it takes. Now occasionally I will get ahead, a couple weeks when it comes to scroll saw project videos, and then I can sit and edit those at the computer. Now in that case, I would like to maybe seek out an intermediate to advanced design to cut out for a video, because I could have time to work on it in between other designs, if that makes any sense. But the very first intermediate / advanced pattern I ever done was way back at between 15, 16, 17 years old. I can't quite remember which, but it was on my old Delta variable speed 16-inch scroll saw, and it was this here. It still hangs prominently on the scroll saw display wall out here in the shop, because it just reminds me of how far I have came as a scroll saw artist and woodworker. And I unfortunately do not know the name of the pattern designer here, but it has these beautiful twin dragons entwined in a Celtic cross here that has those beautiful knots in it. It's cut out of 2 pieces of Baltic birch plywood, a piece for the scroll work itself, and then the backer board painted black. And you can tell that I was very not well versed in scroll saw woodworking, if that makes any sense. Well, I was versed in scroll saw woodworking, but you guys can tell that the frame doesn't line up. Back in those days, I was just concerned with cutting out the scroll saw work itself. I really, at that time in mind frame, I really wasn't concerned about finishing it properly. I do think I put 1 coat of clear coat on it. I can't remember. It does have a slight glossy sheen, so I guess I did. And didn't really want to finish it properly. I was just more concerned with doing the actual scroll saw work and achieving that at the age that I cut it out as. And I'd love to find out the pattern designer for this, because I'd like to go back and cut this design out again and finish it properly, and maybe make a rustic frame for it to go in, just to showcase like the skills and the progression of the evolution of style of scroll sawing from me personally, where I cut it out then and then I could pair it to the one I could cut out now. So if any of you guys know the pattern designer, please let me know down in the comments. But again, this is a very old portrait that I done back in my teen years. And then I have, of course, cut out some portraits for the model train room, you know, when I got back into model railroading. And one of the designs I did right here is a freight train leaving the station. You can see the people here are loading stuff onto the station platform for the train to go off on its journey. You have the word freight there. I guess what it would ultimately say would be freight train or freight station or something like that. But this is a pattern from Scroll Saw Village that I cut out behind the scenes, and then I went back and made the frame for it over on the table saw and router table, and I give it a nice decorative edge. But again, this was something I cut out in between filming other stuff, you know, in my free time. And then we have this train portrait here that is a Steve Good design, and all of these advanced portraits that I'm showing you, or intermediate portraits, ever how you want to interpret them, I always took advantage of stack cutting and made multiples. I figured in my mind's eye, if I was going to dedicate the time, you know, to cutting out something this intricate over on the scroll saw, I was going to, of course, make multiples. But here we have a Steve Good freight train design. It says Union Pacific on it, and again, I did stack cut it. This one here hangs out in the workshop, and I just finished it, cut out a 1/4 inch material. All of these were cut out of 1/4 inch material, I'm sure, but you can see there, then it has the backer board on it. But because I went and done stack cutting, you know, I have the nicer one hanging in the model train room with the frame that I handmade, again, over on the table saw and router table. So you have two examples here. And again, if I would go into making intermediate to advanced portraits, I would, of course, finish some of them like this, just in a standard finishing way like I like to do over here on the platform. But then sometimes I would go the extra mile and make the frame for them themselves. You know, I have made frames in the past, and it is a very unorthodox manner where I cut both sides of the frame at one time over on the table saw before going to the router table to do the rabbits for the picture to float in on the back of the frame, if that makes any sense. But that is those two designs there. And then we have this nice hot rod design here. This is a Kenny Hopkins design. A hot rod sitting in the garage, so you see all like the tools and like the corner and the door of the garage. You have that nice rat rod sitting there, and I cut this out back in 2021 when I got back into collecting Hot Wheels cars. You know, I wanted something to represent that, and that is something else I like to do with the Monday Scroll Saw Project videos. I like to tie it into something else whenever I can. I cut out a bicycle design and talked about me liking to ride my bicycle, you know, during the warmer spring and summer months. You know, I cut out like a fish and talked about fishing with my grandfather, you know, things like that. But that was the reason for cutting out this design here. Again, took advantage of stack cutting here. Then we have another Kenny Hopkins design, and this is a nautical tropical design. You have the sailing ship, the ship's wheel, the waves within the wheel, and then you have the lighthouse with the beacon giving the guiding light. This was one I was really happy with when we really got into going to the beach, and I think, yeah, this one was also cut out in 2021. I've got it dated, and I've got one of two, so again with the stack cutting. Again, cut out of 1/4 inch material. And primarily for all of these portraits I show you, occasionally I will go to a smaller blade, but 99% of the time it will be a number 5 ultra reverse tooth blade that I cut everything out with. So just keep that in mind. I really love those blades. They give a nice, sharp, crisp element to it and really makes those designs that you cut out over on the scroll saw pop. But now on this portrait here, I'll hold it up again, the train leaving the station. I did use some spiral blades to cut it out, like the words freight and some of the smoke from the freight train, you know, sitting there idling at the station, because I wanted to get some practice with spiral blades under my belt. I can use a spiral scroll saw blade. It's just not my favorite blade to go to. I know some people, you know, put them on a pedestal, and then there's some people like me that really loves the traditional flat, straight scroll saw blades, if that makes any sense. Here we have another Steve Good design, another train going by the water tower there. You know, nice crisp elements, because again I used number 5 ultra reverse tooth blades, and this was another one that I made the custom frame for. And the ones with the frames here hang in the model train / nostalgia room, you know, just for some display purposes and artistic flair, and just to also show off some scroll saw woodworking work. Now, my latest 2 intricate designs I've done over the Christmas break. I started right before I went into the Christmas break, and then I sat down at the scroll saw, and again I just got to zone out with some good music on, you know, just lost in the world of sawdust. And one of them I stack cut 2 of these. I made one for a family member, and I really went above and beyond with the rustic frame. I made a half lap frame for it. This is a rust-beard Tyrannosaurus Rex design here, and these are the most recent frames I had made, and I was a little bit out of practice with making picture frames because I hadn't made one in so long. I kind of overshot the size there, but then the rest of the frames kind of went together more perfectly as I got more familiar with the process of making them, you know. But really cool design here. I stack cut 2 of these, and I give one to a family member, and they really loved it. And as soon as they got home, they hung it on the wall and sent me a picture of it. So I'm happy that they were as happy with it as I was with making it. But again, made this one behind the scenes here. Really beautiful design. And then we have the one that I stack cut for my mom for a Christmas present. So this is hers. I went and got this from her. You have the fish jumping out of the water to go with the tropical and beach flare that me and her love. But I stack cut 3 of these out of 1/4" material to give one to some family friends, and then I had another one to finish in a different and unique style that I've still got to do at the time of this video's recording here. But then, as you can see, I was getting better with making the frames again, and then I engraved a nice quote to my mom on the back of it, as well as the one we give to our family friend, as well as the family member and the dinosaur portrait. That's one thing I like about the laser engraver. If you're going to go to all of this work, you know, cutting this stuff out by hand, making the frame by hand, you can take a laser engraver and engrave a nice quote and a nice font or script or something like that in the back and make it look really, really professional. I know some people get a stamp and things like that, but I really like using the laser to engrave the back of custom scroll saw projects like this. This here is another rust beard design, again, 1/4" material. And the third one I've still yet to finish, as I said, because a lot of people, I have noticed, a few people actually over on social media, on all of the scroll saw groups I'm on, have started adding paint to intricate scroll saw portraits and taking them to the next level. So that's something I want to do in my free time, you know, paint in it. And what I would like to do is just, you know, paint the fish to look as lifelike as possible, maybe some white and blue to simulate the fish jumping out of the water, you know, doing a dive out of the water and everything. So it's just an option. You know, there's always options and versatility with each and every scroll saw woodworking pattern you come across. But again, those right now, I do have more over on the wall, and I have occasionally done more intricate designs, as I said, on Monday videos when I can occasionally get ahead a few videos. Last year we done this tropical fish tank design, you know, in case you cannot have real or live animals. This is a great, you know, thing to make. This is an older pattern from Scroll Saw Woodworking and Crafts magazine by Fox Travel Publishing, but it took me around a week and a half to make this project. I cut out everything in one day, and then it took me a long time to paint everything because of the tropical colors, and then you had to come back and glue everything together. Then you had to clear coat it and wait for it to dry. But this is a previous video over here on the platform. And then last summer we cut out the fretwork lighthouse design out of 1/4" material here, and this one had over 100+ internal cuts. So this is what I would call a intermediate slash going into advanced scroll saw pattern, but this is a project I've done over on the channel and you guys really liked it. But just let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. If you guys would like to see intricate designs like that going forward when I can get ahead, please let me know. It may take a while to get those videos out. It might be few and far between, you know, just because of the time it takes to make everything and cut everything out. Then if you make a custom frame, you have to get the material, mill it down, things like that, you know. And I'm not trying to make an excuse as to why I do not do advanced patterns. Again, it's just with a weekly video format like I have over here on this platform, it is just a time crunch deal, you know, because once you get everything made, then you got to go into video editing, then processing, then uploading, then sharing, then, you know, all those bells and whistles that just go with working on this platform and posting videos. I hope that makes sense. But I hope you guys have appreciated it. If I do continue to make intricate designs behind the camera, behind the scenes, so to speak, of course I will always document them over on all of my social media feeds. You guys know I love sharing the work and just showing everything off, you know, and hopefully inspiring people to go out in their garage or workshops and try a project like I showcase over here on the channel, over on the platforms, and all of the various social medias. But again, just let me know your guys' opinions down in the comments below. And if it's your first time over here on the channel, hopefully you'll click that subscribe button and also follow me across all my social media feeds under the Artisan Pirate name. As always, links to contact me as well as all my social media feeds will always be linked down in the description box below these videos. That's about all for this one. And remember guys, if I can make it or do it, so can you guys. I'm the Artisan Pirate. Take care, and I'll see you guys real soon.